welcome to our MOA mini tour. My name is Joseph. I'm a student educator here at the museum. I am in my junior year in the interdisciplinary humanities program. My wife is studying acting here at BYU. We plan to graduate next year. We have the most beautiful baby boy, 4 months old. His name is William, and if I see you, I will show you a picture. So one of my roles as a student educator here is to educate myself and hopefully a few other people about the works of art in our collection, as well as how to approach art and art museums in general. So one of the ways that you could approach this painting, Irene Pereira's The Spirit of Unity, is to not approach it at all. I have to admit that before I started studying art and art history, I thought that abstract modern art was only for people who studied art and art history. If you've ever felt like it was easier to appreciate a realistic portrait or a beautiful landscape than it is to understand abstract expressionism, I understand where you're coming from. I hope that you'll stay with me long enough to see that there is something meaningful here, and it might actually be worth your time to find out what that is. Another way that you can approach this piece is like a detective or a historian. Every work of art has a story to tell, and many of us find deeper meaning when we learn the context. You might be interested to know, for example, when the artist lived, or where she worked, what was happening in the world or in her life at the time. That's the kind of thing you would expect a museum guide to tell you. And to be honest, I love that kind of information. That's not, however, what I'm going to share with you today. So the third way that you can approach this painting is simply looking. Just walk up to it, pull up that stool that you checked out from our friendly front desk attendants, and give yourself a minute. Another misconception I had was that only the experts could sit and stare at a work of art for longer than, 30 seconds. I mean, what is there to look at or look for? Not long ago, I learned about a neuroscientist named Eric Kandel who believes that abstract art is good for our brains. I'm oversimplifying his research, but one of the reasons is that it doesn't look like something else. Rather than searching our memory for specific associations, it forces us to really look and process what we see. In other words, the reason that we should spend time with abstract art is the same reason we sometimes walk past it. The message isn't clear. It takes time to decide how we feel about the visual information coming in. Looking at art is in many ways like listening with your eyes. Good listeners wait to respond until they've heard what the speaker has to say. So, as my modern art professor was fond of quoting, the best advice could be summed up in the words of T.S. Eliot. "Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit." That professor, by the way, is also the curator who chose this work of art for the Becoming America exhibition. So let's take a moment and look closer. What do you see? If you have someone with you right now, try to describe it for each other. Notice the variety of the colors, the complexity of the texture, the shapes, the lines. You don't have to know what it means or make decisions about quality. Just say what you see. Let yourself get excited about new discoveries. There's a certain childlike kind of wonder that can come when we notice or appreciate something that we didn't before. Once you've given yourself the time to listen or see what's actually there, that's when you want to start thinking about interpretation. And let me be clear, I'm talking about your personal reaction to the visual information coming in. I know it's cliche to ask, how does this make you feel? So I'll make it more interesting. The artist chose the title Spirit of Unity for this painting. Based on what you see, can you understand why? What is it about this painting that suggests unity? Are all of the elements the same? What are some of the differences that you notice? Why the spirit of unity? If you were to choose another title that might express what this painting means to you, what would it be? Whether you're watching this video live or see it later, I'd love to read in the comments what you saw when you took the time to look carefully, and maybe a title you came up with. I also hope that you'll apply this approach when you come to visit the museum, spending a little bit more time with this painting and other abstract works of art in our collection. It doesn't take training or expertise, but it does start to feel more natural, with patience and a lot of practice. Thank you for joining us. I'll look forward to seeing you at the BYU Museum of Art.